Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my everyday makeup look that is just my go-to, sort of a little get ready with me. And this is just sort of what I wear every day for work, or if I'm in a rush at the weekend, which is all the time because I'm always in a rush. So we've sort of got just normal skin, not full coverage as you can see, but just enough to sort of like make everything neat. A little bit of highlighter, blush to just sort of bring some colour back into the face. The eyeshadow is the Naked 2 palette. Nothing too mad, but this is my everyday go-to makeup. So if you want to see how I got this look, just keep on watching. So first of all, I'm going to start off by just moisturising my face. So when that's sunk in, I like to go in with primer. My favourite primer at the moment is the NYX Honey Dew Me Up primer. It's got little gold flakes in it, which is pretty cool. It does smell like a spa. If you've ever been for a spa day, you know what I mean. I have quite dry skin, but I have seen people use this who have oily skin. They seem to really like it as well. It does sort of leave you with little shimmery bits all over your face, which gives you like a little bit of a glow for a base. So usually, first of all, I would let that sink in, and while I'm letting that sink in, I will do my brows. I do mix it up with brows. I don't really have like a set product or anything. If I'm really in a rush, I will probably just use a powder and like a small brush, just fill them in. But I do like to use the BH Cosmetics Studio Pro Shade and Define Duo Brow Pencil. I usually sort of use the fatter end for the front of the brow and the more precise end for the back of the brow. Is anyone else like me and has one eyebrow higher than the other? This one is higher and this one is also shorter, but I guess, like they say, eyebrows are sisters, not twins. Sometimes mine aren't even cousins. Also, my sister was trimming my brows a few years ago now actually, and she was brushing them up and trimming them, and I'd never really done that, but she said, let me have a go. And I was like, okay then. And she trimmed the edge and then it never grew back. So I always brush this one higher because I know that it's lower. I will then go in with foundation. I do mix it up with foundations. It really depends what I'm feeling that day. So I'm actually gonna go in with the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour full coverage foundation. Now, even though it does claim to be full coverage, I actually wouldn't say it is. I find the more full coverage, the more cakey things get, and this actually doesn't, so I'm kind of pleased it doesn't do that really. I am in the shade 03 True Ivory, which I believe is the lightest colour they do, but they do it in so many different colours. So I just put a few pumps of that around my face, and then with a beauty blender or just a makeup sponge really. Honestly, don't waste your money on actual beauty blenders because they're like £15 for one sponge, and I have definitely tried ones that do better. I don't even know where this one was from. Someone just got it for me in a gift set for Christmas, but definitely don't be spending £15 on a beauty blender because I did, and I actually still have my first beauty blender. I thought, as I spent so much money on it, I would keep it. I ordered it from the actual Beauty Blender website, and I think I paid shipping. I'm not too sure, but it was ridiculous. It was when I didn't realise there were dupes and just thought, buy the real thing or everyone will know that I didn't use an actual beauty blender on my skin. And actually, nobody knows, and it's all just about what you prefer and what works for you really. As you can see, it's super pale, but it's still like a little bit more yellow than my neck, and that is the lightest shade that they do. So if you are super pale, you might want to get a foundation mixer, a lightener or something. So what I like to do is I like to go in with concealer for the bits that need a little bit more, and I go for the Revolution Conceal and Define concealers. I believe they're a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape, but I've actually never tried that. So I've got the big one in C0.5 and the small one in C1. C1 matches me for covering like blemishes and things, but C05 is for like under your eyes and things like that. So I'm just gonna gently, with gentle pressure, bounce that in. Just because if you apply too much pressure, it's just going to pick it all back up on the sponge again. Obviously, make sure these sponges are damp when you use them, any kind of makeup sponge, just so it doesn't suck up all the product and so you get a smoother application. C0.5 is actually a bit pinker. Those are not even at all. And a little bit goes a long way with this concealer. You do only need a tiny bit. I would say that the concealer is full coverage, which I believe it does claim to be. Full coverage concealer. Yeah, it's so cheap as well. I think these are like £4 and this one's like £6 or £7 for the bigger size, but it's definitely worth getting the bigger size because it will last you longer and you won't need to chuck away so much packaging, which if you watch my skincare video you will know that I'm not a fan of chucking excess packaging and plastic away. Next for powder, I also mix it up, like I said, with the foundations. Sometimes I use loose powders, sometimes I use translucent powders, but when I feel like I need a little bit more coverage, like today, I like to use the MAC Studio Fix powder. I am in the shade NW15, which is super light, and I should probably get another one. I just take a super fluffy brush. This one is a BH Cosmetics one. I give it a swirl and just lightly I just swirl it around my whole face. So once the whole face is set, this is what we've got. Pretty matte, you can't really see much sheen anymore, but not completely because I don't want to dry it out completely. For contour slash bronzing, I know that when you watch tutorials on YouTube and things like that, everybody does them differently. They will contour and then they will also bronze, but I don't really get the difference. I feel like it's all just one thing really. So my favourite contour powder is this one, which is just a little loose magnetic pan, but it's actually by Bleach London and it's the Contour Nuity powder in the shade Bones 4. I think I heard somewhere that it's actually been discontinued now, so that's amazing. But it's so cool toned and it's so light. So just go in with the NYX 06 brush and take a bit of that, tap it off, and just where my cheekbone naturally is, I'll just trace that line under my cheekbone. If there's a little bit left over on the brush, I'll just sort of put it up here and just down the sides of my nose. But like I said, on a daily basis, I'm really not that worried about heavy contour or anything like that. This brush is amazing for contouring. It is expensive, it's like £18 for one brush, but it really does get in the crevice. I guess this is what you would call contouring, and then if you were to bronze you would take a fluffy brush again and just sort of like go in around everywhere and warm the whole thing up. But I feel like because I'm so pale, that would just make me look muddy and I don't really need that. So that's all I do with the bronzer. For blusher, I'll just take an angled fluffy brush, and my favourite blusher is actually the Olivia Hale Bramble blusher, which is, if you don't know, Olivia Hale is the makeup brand that you get in Home Bargains, and I think it was about £1. I think everything in that brand is like £1. It's sort of just a really muted pink. This is so pigmented, so with the brush I literally just tap in really gently and you can see on the brush how much picks up. Tap the rest off and then just apply it to my cheeks. And you can see there that tiny touch I did compared to this side. It is hella pigmented. I do also have another colour in this blush, but it's not as good. So I think if you want the super pigmented one, go for the shade Bramble. I have so many other blushes, but honestly this is my go-to because it is so pigmented, so it's so quick. So for highlight, I actually barely use highlight on a daily basis just because I'm always so late and because I feel like it's a little bit unnecessary. But if I was to have a few extra minutes, I would just grab something that's not too blinding if I'm just going to work. So something like the Blushing Hearts Triple Baked Blusher in Peachy Pink Kisses by I Heart Makeup. And even though it's called a triple baked blusher, I would say this is totally a highlighter. Like, it's got 3 different colours, so a darker one and then it goes lighter. But if I just swatch that, how on this earth is that a blusher? That is just totally shimmery and iridescent. Oh, I don't think I bought a highlighter brush up here. Usually I use like a little fluffy Morphe brush or just a normal highlighter brush, one of them fan ones. So because I didn't actually bring one up, I'm just going to use the same brush I used for my blusher and just really gently go over all the colours, tap it off. And as you can see, it's pretty blinding. I feel like it is actually a really gorgeous highlight. It's sort of on the natural side, as natural as highlight can be really. So that is the face basically done. To set my face, if I have time and if I can be bothered, I will use a setting spray, but I absolutely do not do this every day. I've just got the Urban Decay Chill setting spray. This was so expensive, so I feel like I have to use it, but I don't know if it's actually worth the money. It sort of makes everything look a bit glowier and sort of sets in all the powders. So onto the eyes. I know I am holding this palette, but mainly just because it's got a huge mirror. But this is an amazing palette. It's the Beauty Bay Identity 42 colour palette. And it's got every colour you could think in it. It's got all your transitions, and these foils are amazing. But on a daily basis, I never reach for that. On a daily basis, I go for the OG, the first proper eyeshadow palette that I ever got, and I got it for my birthday. It is the Naked 2. And I hope that they never stop doing this like they have stopped doing the Naked 1, because I love it. And I think I might actually have to buy a new one because mine is a little bit battered. As you can see, it is very well loved. We've got this shade here, which is like an amazing sort of like setting transition-y shade, and this shade which is called Tease, which I've absolutely annihilated. It all crumbled and fell out, so I tried to like press it back in with like rubbing alcohol and it kind of worked. And my absolute favourite shade, YDK, this one, which is like a sort of shimmery coppery gold. So I'm just going to show you what my absolute go-to look is if I really don't have that much time, or if I just want to look just not colourful or anything, just normal. So I'll go in with a fatter fluffy brush and with the shade Foxy, which is this plain shade here, and I'm just going to set my lids with that, and whatever's left on the brush I'll just go underneath as well. Just set any creasing that has happened. Then with a smaller fluffy brush, I've got, I think these are both Zoeva Soft Luxe crease brushes actually, and this one is a crease liner brush but it's rubbed off. So with a little fluffy one, I'll usually go into the shade Tease, which is the one I've absolutely destroyed, until there's a little bit on the brush, and just focus that on my lid and on this outer corner of my lid, sort of here. I think if I could rebuild that shade Tease, I would be happy. Maybe I will have to invest, because I have actually had this palette for a long time. I think it was bought for me for my 22nd birthday maybe, and I'm 26 now, so I mean, don't get me wrong, I do sanitize it all the time. Then I will usually go in with Busted, which is this second to darkest shade here. It's not really glittery, but you can tell I've sort of gone into that a lot over the years as well. And with the same brush. What I would say is if you do want to focus the darker colours and make it more of a smoky eye, go in with a smaller, more precise brush. But today I'm just sort of blowing it all out, just to really focus it on the outer part of the lid and up into the crease. I will make sure that's all nice and blended out there, and then just with my finger, because I feel like that is exactly how shimmery shades apply best, I'm going to go in with the shade YDK, which is this one, my favourite one, and just take that and place it just on the centre of the lid, and well, basically all over. So I'm just going to do that on the same on the other side. And I think that really does give it a little pop of shimmer. If I am feeling really extra, I will go in with another one of the shimmery colours, maybe Half Baked or maybe Verve. So we're going to go in with Half Baked, which is this really gold colour here. And I'm just going to put that more on the inner third of the eye. Now for under the eyes, just to tie everything together, you want to go for a little small angled brush. I think this is again BH Cosmetics, and I will probably pick just a little mix of that tease and that Busted colour, that dark brown, and just underneath the lower lash line, I'll just run that. That sort of ties everything together. If I have time, I will do winged eyeliner, but usually I won't have time and I would just leave it. So next thing is mascara. Again, I mix up what mascara I use, but my all-time favourite is the Maybelline Falsies Push Up Angel Mascara in black. Oh, very black. I think they do a waterproof one as well, and the reason I love it is because the wand is different to like any other mascara wand I've ever seen. It's like got these a little comb almost, so you can really get in between the hairs and right to the root of the lash as well, and it sort of combs through them and makes them really spread out and voluminous. And in comparison to this eye, which, like you see, it looks a bit plain, sort of just brings them to life a bit more. And just underneath. And if you are the type of person who can do your mascara without getting a blob on your eyelid, please tell me your secrets. So my advice for that, actually, my main tip would be don't rub it away when it's wet. Grab your spoolie, and then when it's dry, the little dot, just brush it away and it'll just flake off. There's a trick for you. So that is everything done. On a daily basis, I won't wear lipstick, so I usually just go in with some Vaseline. Somebody asked me the other day actually if I'd had my lips coloured, because I said I didn't really wear lipstick and I just use Vaseline, and they said, oh, but you've had your lips coloured though, right? I was like, no. I don't know what she meant. Maybe tattoo? Do people get that? I don't know. And that, my friends, is the finished everyday go-to makeup routine for me. So this is what I would wear every day to work, or sometimes I would mix it up and go for one of the more jazzy shadows in a palette like this if I had time to sort of play around in the morning, which, like I said, I never have time. So I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. I'm not really surprised though, because I do this every day. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how I do my makeup every day. And if I've mentioned any products that are also your favourite, let me know down below. Also, if you've used any products that I haven't mentioned that you think are your holy grail, also let me know so I can try them out. Like I said, I do mix it up, so it's not always exactly this, but this is usually what I look like. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!